Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Section 21 and no-fault evictions are rising spectacularly across England, Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland. And indeed, Scotland's just seen the highest number on record. And there are many reasons why. One of them, of course, is the cancellation of Section 21 no-fault evictions generally. They're trying to end these. There's this constant war on landlords. They know there are more things to come. One of the new, weird, wonderful things that they're putting into the new Tenancy Act is the fact that if the tenants would be mentally harmed, if they would have some mental issue about being forced to leave that particular home, then you cannot evict them. So even if they're not paying their rent, you still can't evict them because it would cause them mental harm. So what's happening? Well, exactly this. Landlords are selling up. I predicted it, and now we have the absolute proof that it's happening. More people in Scotland lost their homes due to no-fault evictions after refusing to follow a Section 21 order. Last year, new figures show. The latest figures from the Ministry of Justice show county court bailiffs made 57 repossessions due to Section 21 being issued in Southend alone. And of course, landlords everywhere are doing this. They're getting in, they're selling up, and they're leaving the whole sector. Now, this is what Labour are doing in England, but it's the same. The SNP are doing exactly the same in Scotland. Only they've done it earlier because through COVID, you had this thing, there was no evictions, and people just refused to pay the rent. And they just weren't paying the rent. And then that's it. They couldn't be thrown out. And there was rent controls were put in. There was no rent increases. And subsequently, the number of people in Scotland who sold up, it's in the tens of thousands, and it's continuing day after day after day, more and more being sold, which means fewer and fewer rental properties available generally. And nobody at the moment, in Scotland particularly, is building social housing because A, there's no profit in it, and B, the return on investment takes years. And companies can't tie up their capital. So these building companies are saying no, and they're going south of the border because they can get their returns quicker. And so this is one of the problems they've got, because if you're going to build social housing, let's say you've bought a plot of land, you want to get the planning on it, then the council says, well, fine, we'll give you the planning for these, say, 50 houses, but we want 5 of them to be social, low cost, low rent, whatever. 10%, that's fine, they'll do that, but the rest of them get sold at a commercial rate. That profit covers them, everybody happy. But now what's happening is they're told, oh, well, all new ones that go through planning now have to have heat pumps, and the builders in Scotland, and the builders know people won't buy heat pump houses, and they're not willing to tie up all that capital. Then also, because that's all tied up, that then can't pay for the social housing, because Scotland wants social housing to be 15% of sites. Well, you can't make a profit on that. You literally can't. The cost of the land, the cost of the materials, you know, it's just not there. It's just not financially viable. And so they're just not building. Meanwhile, all the landlords, the private landlords, are selling up. So there's constantly fewer and fewer rental properties available. And this is a trend that will continue for as long as the SNP remain in power. And even then, even if it changes, the fact is it would take so long to change law and then get all these builders to gear up, to start building, and then the actual time frame from breaking ground to delivery. As it stands now, it could be 7 to 10 years, not to get things back into any kind of good state, but to get things back on an upward trend. Still way, way short of what's needed, but just to get up to an upward trend, it could take 10 years from today. This is how bad it is. And that's just Scotland. It's the same everywhere, though. The only thing is, in England, you don't have the problem of having to build a house with a heat pump, because fortunately, England were never controlled by the madness of the Green Party. At least not yet. David Ed Miliband would have his way, God would all be living in little pods and eating bugs. Thankfully, that isn't going to happen for some time yet. But this is the whole ethos of what these people are doing. Destroy, destroy, destroy. If you can destroy homes and get everyone renting and nobody owns, it's all about control. No private landlords. But here's the thing, no social landlords either. What are they going to do? Give everybody a nice big cardboard box and then have them fight it out for the prime spot under the bridge? This seems to be the direction of travel of the SNP and the Labour Party. We need to not vote for either of them. I mean, people moaned about the Tories. My God, you didn't know you had it so good. How bad do we think it's going to get for Scottish in particular, the tenants? Well, with tens of thousands of houses being sold every year, rental properties being sold every year, no building, and a rising population, there's going to be tent cities. All the big cities will have parks filled with tented cities, with homeless people in tents, with human shits floating down the streets because they won't have anywhere to go. The stench of human sweat because there won't be anywhere to clean. The disease, the rats. It will be like the Warsaw Ghetto all over again. Sauchiehall Street? God help us. It'll be like Warsaw in the 30s. Some of Scottish cities will be like concentration camps. And if you escape to the country, it won't be much better, except you're a lot further out and there's no policeman. I think there might well be a little bit of citizen justice out there. But this seems to be what they want. I don't know. Is this what they want? Seems to be. There's only one cure. Vote them out and vote them out at every opportunity. Get rid of them. And just let builders build. And let landlords let. Take away rights from the tenants. And I'm not being nasty, but take away rights from the tenants and put more rights back in the landlords to encourage landlords back into the game to provide homes. If lots of homes, lots of rental properties exist, rents come down. Everybody knows this. It's market forces. That way everyone can afford somewhere to live. Hey ho, not just me, 35 years in the construction industry dealing with shit like this. Why can't they just hire people who know what they're talking about instead of having political ideology driving things straight to hell? Let me know what you think. I'll finish there. Take care. Speak soon. Goodbye.